Alrighty, good morning everyone and welcome to the the business card makeover webinar. This is the first one of several that we'll be having this month. I'm so glad for you to join us. I want to go over a couple of things before we get started. First, my name is Tamara Diahann. I'm so excited to have you guys here and viewing this. I'm going to be sharing some important information with you. We're going to go ahead and jump on in and get started. So I'm going to share my screen with you. Give me 1 second. Alrighty. Good stuff. So this is the Business Card Makeover web series. It is part of the Build Your Business, Build the Kingdom. We are going to be talking a lot about empowering your business, doing the things that you need to do in your business so that you can have that transfer into the kingdom of God. Because of course we know that if we aren't together, if we don't have money and finances and things like that in order, then we really can't be effective members of the community in regards to building the body of Christ. So that is my goal. So we're going to move on. What is your office space looking right now? Let's go ahead and get started. You can find me and follow me on Instagram at boss_exec. And for the purposes of posting, we have 2 hashtags. Hashtag is going to be business, boss biz card, and also boss for Christ, because this is the initiative that we're going to be focusing on and growing, which is our Boss for Christ initiative. All right. So who is Tamara Diahann? Well, first, I am the Executive Director of BOSS Business Association. I have a love for helping business owners grow their business, not only for themselves, but for others. I have a niche in business strategies, as well as a marketing expert. I pretty much can market just about anything. But my love is to empower business owners, especially those who have been in business for about 0 to 5 years, so that they are able to grow exponentially. They are able to increase profits, increase exposure, all that good stuff. But then also transfer that into how they can be a reliable and person of influence in their church and in their community and as the world as a whole. So if your business isn't growing, then you can't necessarily grow or help others. So I like to strategize with business owners in order to help them to do that. That's a little bit about me. Let's go ahead and go right into what we're going to be talking about today, because there is a lot of information that I want you to cover. I want you to leave here with information that you can use as soon as you log off. I hate going to those webinars and spending an hour of my time, and I leave there with maybe 15 minutes worth of information. So I'm just going to really throw up a lot of information on you, to be honest. And so I just want you to kind of be aware of that, be ready for that, and we're going to go ahead and get started. So what can you expect to get from this? Well, the entire presentation is broken up into 4 different sections. By the end of the first section, I want you to be able to specifically express why you are giving out business cards in the first place, what you want people to do after you give them to them, what's in it for them. You have to know what they're going to be getting out of it. Also, why should they care in the first place? That's extremely important. And also, how you want to be remembered. Because at the end of the day, if I'm a part of a networking event and I'm going through all of this stuff, if I am getting a handful of business cards, I need to know which one I need to contact, why should I remember them, all of that stuff. So we kind of have the same struggles. So I want to teach you how to stand out in the crowd. By the end of the second section, we're going to get more into what your specific business card should look like. And you want to make sure that that you and your new contact are on the same page. And of course, page is an acronym, which we're going to go over later. For those of you who have your workbooks, you already know what PAGE stands for. So we're going to kind of move forward in that regards for section 2. In section 3, it goes beyond. Now you have your business card. Now you know why you have your business card, but also setting yourself up for success. So you're going to be able to select a clear goal, want you to strive to be of more service. We're going to survey how you're really feeling inside, and then also set yourself up for winning, to win. So those are kind of my four square approach to getting more business out of your business card. And then finally, we're going to wrap up with, one second, just kind of mess that up. Then we're going to wrap up with a couple of final discussions. Really articulate why we should resist the risk of buying in bulk. Of course, Vistaprint and all the printers are, you can get 250 cards, 500, 1,000 cards for a certain amount of price. But we're going to talk about why it's important to resist that urge of buying in bulk. Also, talking about the size of your business card, why that matters, and then also looking into the quantity of your conversions. That is so important. Not just the how many people, but really how to quantify your conversions within the quality of your how many people you're connecting with. So sorry about that. Alrighty, so let me just clarify and back up a little bit. We want to make sure that we quantify what our conversions look like, putting a number to it. That is extremely, extremely important. Got a little tongue-tied there, so please forgive me. Okay, so before we do that, let's take a quick pause. And I want you to, of course, post on Instagram. I'm a fan of Instagram. Twitter, not so much, but I'm an Instagram, Facebook girl. So you'll find me all over those two social media platforms. Of course, you can find me at boss_exec. And whatever you're posting, make sure you hashtag it, Boss Biz Card and also Boss for Christ. But I want to see what your business cards actually look like right now. So if you would, go ahead and do that for me. I'd be greatly appreciated. I want to see what it is your business card looks like. Alrighty, so let's jump right into this thing. We are going to be first talking about why you're giving out business cards in the first place. That is a huge, huge, huge deal. Figuring out what is your purpose. What do you want it to do at the end of the day? Once you give somebody your business card, it's extremely important to have an idea of what you want them to do. Do you want them to join your mailing list, purchase a service or product? You want to increase your circle of influence? Do you want to make them to make an introduction for you? Do you want them to sign up for a free consultation? Do you want to add them? Do you want to be added to their mailing list? Really figuring out what in the world you're giving, why in the world you're giving them out in the first place. A lot of times we, and myself included, when I was first getting started a couple of years back, I was like, whoever has my business card is a good thing. But I had no real reason why I was giving out business cards in the first place. So it's extremely important to figure that out first. And then you can go back and make it purposeful. So once you figure out exactly why you're going to give out business cards, identifying who you're giving it out to. Who is your target market? Are you giving it out to potential clients? Are you giving it out to potential contacts? Are you giving it out to potential partners? Who are you giving this business card to? And what do you want them to do with it? If you want them to sign up for your mailing list, how are they going to do that? These are questions that you have to start thinking about in order to make your business card really bring you business and to turn your contacts into cash, is which is the idea. We all are in business to make money, but unless we're purposeful with why we're doing certain things, then we can't necessarily expect them to transfer into reality. So I just wanted you to think about something real quick. How many business cards, or how many people have you given business cards out to within the past 60 days? Take a moment and think about that. And once you kind of have that number in mind, think about how many of those people actually did what you wanted them to do. Let's say if the reason that you're getting the business card out was for them to sign up for your mailing list, how many of those people that you've given the business card to actually signed up for your mailing list? Just kind of think about that. And then the third question is kind of why do you, if you have a pretty low conversion rate, which means you've probably given out 100 cards, you might have had one person sign up for your mailing list. Why do you think that conversion rate was so low? Or if you consider that high, that too. Why do you think it was high? Um, so I want you to just kind of start thinking. These are things that you really need to start thinking about. And of course, all of these questions are in the workbook. If you want a workbook, I will definitely send you the link after we log off so that you're able to purchase it if you need to. Okay, so now for the remainder of our time together, I want you to think of one purpose, one target market, one purpose that you are creating a business card for. And towards the latter half, I'll let you know why I'm having you focus on one. But I want you to focus on one particular purpose. And I want you, based on that purpose, to identify who you're giving this business card to. Like what specific person? So this is your target market, of course. I want you to start thinking about what specifically you want them to do once they get this card. Is it log on, click, scan, whatever it is? What specifically do you want them to do? And then I want you to kind of start thinking about what's in it for them. These are questions that you need to start thinking about while you're creating a business card. And why should they care in the first place is important as well. And then moving on, how do you want to be remembered? Do you want them to remember you as a resource? Do you want them to remember you as a high quality contact and expert in your field? How do you want them to remember you? I'll give you a couple minutes to kind of figure that out. Alrighty, so now that you have those ideas in mind, we're going to move on to section 2. And section 2 is making sure that you and your new contact are on the same page. Now, page is an acronym, and these are basically items that your business card should have in order to specifically answer those questions that you kind of addressed earlier. And for one, it should have a photo. It's extremely important to make sure that people are able to remember your face, not just your name, so that if they see you again, or if they see you on Facebook, or if they see you wherever, you're remembered. They know your face. And some people, like myself, I remember faces all day long. Don't ask me what your name is if I just met you, just because it is, I meet so many people, always networking, not quite sure who I'm meeting, who I'm talking to, that sort of thing. But if I know your face, I know you. So now you're familiar. So that sales curve is pretty much shortened. So making sure that you have a professional, high quality picture on your business card is extremely important. And so once you have your picture, your photo, making sure that, and I say this graciously, we do a lot of visual promotion. Images, image quotes, headshots promoting our followers, promoting our network. And sometimes I have to reject photos because it's a selfie or it's a computer's fuzzy, it's not professional. And if you're trying to attract a new contact for whatever reason, you have to promote yourself in a positive manner, which means you have to be professional at all times. So if you do not have a professional headshot, a recent professional headshot, that if it's 6 months or older, do you still look the same? I use my photos that I've taken, gosh, almost a year ago, but I still look exactly the same. Same haircut, same whatever. So if you still have those, it's fine. But if you changed your hair color, if you've slimmed weight, gained weight, whatever it is, you want to make sure that you look like the person in the photo. So then once you have your photo, you also need an act now prompt, or better known as a call to action or a CTA. So this goes back to what you want your contacts to do. And when you are thinking about what your CTA is, this should definitely be printed directly on your business card. But then also it should be something that can be executed very simply in 1 or 2 steps, at the very, very most 2 steps. And some examples of that can be, if you want to scan a QR code, visit a link, book an appointment, give a referral. So you have these action words actually printed on your card. If you want to scan a QR code, visit a link, book an appointment. If you have your card where you can write an appointment on the front and then on the back and tear off a piece so that you have an appointment booking, they have an appointment booking. You just say that's 2 steps. You wrote and you tore, and now you have a new appointment. So things like that. Give a referral code or give an additional card so that you can give them 2 cards and say, hey, make sure you share this with your, someone that you think might be interested in my product or service, that sort of thing. So you're giving them a prompt. Join your mailing list. These action words, these verbs, you want to make sure that you use. If you have an upcoming event, you definitely want to have, register here, that sort of thing. So I'm going to pause really quickly, and I want you to think about your purpose that you've identified at the very beginning of this. And I want you to think about an appropriate call to action. So we already figured out who we want the card to be for. We already figured out what we actually want as a result for giving out this card. But what is an appropriate call to action for your purpose? So I'm going to pause right here and just kind of give you a moment to really think about that. Okay, so once you've thought about your appropriate call to action, what is an appropriate medium for that? Meaning, if you are having them log on or visit your website, for example, is your following one of those that are actually go to the website? Are they someone that might need a QR code to scan it right there? Is it someone that you might want them to give you their email so that you can send them the link so that it's digital? Thinking of those things, knowing your target market, because we're assuming all things equal that you do know your target market. You know how they respond best. So it's important for you to make sure that you have what it is you want them to do, but then also appropriate medium. So if it's easier for you to say, okay, let's book an appointment, you write on the back of the card, you have a tear sheet, so you tear that off. That's ideal as well. But you know your target market. So a simple way of executing that. And the G in making sure you and your new contact are on the same page is a giveaway. And this helps them figure out what's in it for them and why they should care in the first place. Those questions that we answered in section 1. And so this giveaway doesn't have to be anything expensive, doesn't have to be anything extravagant, it doesn't have to be anything extra or excessive. It just has to be something that they get for giving their time. That's what you're giving away. Some suggestions are, a 10% or more discount on a product or service. And then also, if you're looking to refer people, it's really the idea to say, okay, 10% for you and 10% for your referral. So then they don't feel slighted if they're like, oh, we get a discount, but the person they're referring doesn't. Always making sure that that is, ideal. Also, a free consultation or evaluation, or if you're selling a product, a free trial of your product is ideal as well. So that's something that you can consider. Also, maybe access to a relevant resource, like if you are a business consultant and you want to give them access to your daily activity sheet for social media, something like that would be ideal. Just giving them access to that, but they will have to, of course, contact you in order to get your email, get their email so that you can send it to them. And then also, or a free promotion or a complimentary upgrade ticket. So if you're having an event come up and you have general admission and VIP admission, having them, if they were to contact you, let them know that you're going to send them a discount code in order to redeem, or just print the discount code on your card, and that could be your giveaway, so that when they go to register, they already have that. So that's very important. So I'm going to pause again and just think about what we've talked about so far. Who you're giving your card to, why you're giving it. Now know what that act now prompt is, what that CTA is. And now what's an appropriate giveaway that would match that? I just want you to kind of think of that too. I'm going to pause and let you do that. Alrighty, so you should already have a idea giveaway in your mind of what is appropriate for your Act Now prompts, and also, of course, you need to figure out a way to execute that. I gave an example. If you're inviting someone to your event, and you're going to give them a complimentary upgrade to their general admission ticket, you can either say, okay, I will email you the link or email you a code, or how you can have the code printed on the card. You know your target market best, how they're going to act. If you put it on the code, if you put it on the card, you of course save them a step. So maybe they're one of those people that's like, look, I need it now, now, now. I want to scan it, go to the event page, insert this code, get my discount. That's fine. You know your target market best. So now we're going to move on to the last part, the E of making sure you and your contact are on the same page, which is empty space. And this is a very new concept to a lot of people. They're like, wait a minute, you leave empty space? Why in the world would I leave empty space on my business card? I need to put all my contact, all my information, all my goodies, all my everything on this card so that people know basically how great I am. But at the end of the day, the card really isn't about you. It's not. It's about initiating a new relationship. And in order for you to develop a relationship, someone has to feel like it's personalized. Like this encounter is personalized. That you met me, but I am not just a blanket of a number of people that you're going to meet. I actually matter. We had a genuine conversation, and you're not just trying to sell to me, but we're developing this relationship. So leaving some empty space is important. So why in the world would you leave empty space? Well, there are a couple ways to use this empty space. And some ideas for this leaving this space is that you can write an initial conversation summary. Just something about whatever it is that you talked about, so that they remember you. This is another way to be remembered, not just your photo, but also now your writing. You can be remembered. And so they're like, oh, we did talk about that. I know exactly who this person is. It's that easy way. Also, maybe a brief benefit specific to your new contact's needs. Ideally, you're going to be talking about your product or service. They're going to be telling you, oh, I had this idea, or, whatever it is. Say, example, you are a book publisher, and someone says, oh, I've always wanted to publish a book. I have a couple manuscripts on my computer. I still haven't gotten them to a publisher or anything like that. One of your benefits can say, I give free 15-minute consultations. Don't forget to send me your manuscript of XYZ book. So now they have your picture, they have your handwriting, they know what it is they talked about, they have a benefit of contacting you. So this is going to prompt people to actually want to do business with you. And another idea is that you would connect them with someone in your network. Isn't it amazing if you meet a new contact and they give you another contact? So now you've definitely met two. And so in order to be a giver before we receive, leading with an open hand is what I've heard it referred to as well. Giving them another contact. Say, oh, you need this too? Well, I know a graphic designer. Or, oh, I know a photographer. Do you need a headshot for your business card? I know a photographer. Those sort of things would be ideal as well. And then also, if you tell somebody that you're going to contact them, another cool way to use this space is to remind them when and why they can expect to hear from you. So I will call you next week, Thursday, so that we can continue our discussion on ABC. It can be that simple and that easy to really start to build that relationship and be remembered. So now I want you to, again, think about who you're giving your card to, why you're giving them the card, what exactly you want them to do with the card. You already have your giveaway, but now I want you to think of an appropriate and cohesive way to use the empty space that's going to be on your business card. So we're going to pause for a second. I want you to do that as well. Alrighty, so now that you have an idea of what you would use as empty space, I just want to throw out another tidbit. Everybody always needs pens. And so, wouldn't it be cool if you're using one of your branded pens to write in this empty space of this person's business card that you're giving them, but then also giving them that pen? So now they have your business card, they have a free gift, it's completely branded, and they now feel like, whoa, I got a lot out of this conversation. I got a giveaway, I got an appointment with somebody, I have a reason why they're contacting me, I have a pin. They just feel extra special. And that's really what the entire purpose is of networking. You need to make sure that you are allowing people to get to know who you are, and you're initiating a conversation, which is important. It's extremely important to initiate that conversation and to allow them to feel like being they're being gifted for the most part, as opposed to just, oh, well, they're just trying to sell me something, or oh, I'm just trying to contact and build my network and all that stuff. So that's something to really keep in mind. Alrighty, so we're going to move on to section 3, which is the 4 square approach to getting more business. And I want you to think about you going to an offline networking event. And this is how you're really going to make sure that while you're at that event, that you are increasing your ability to initiate new business relationships. You have your new business card, but it's really pointless after you get your business card done if you go to the event and you miss out on separate opportunities, specific opportunities. So this 4 square event is kind of after you've gotten your business card already created, perfected, and printed. So I want you to first think about the first square, which is to select. You're going to select a clear goal, which is really should be cohesive with the reason you're giving out business cards in the first place. Why in the world are you going to this networking event? Why are you taking your gas money, your time? Why are you using these things? What are you expecting to get out of it? Making sure that you specifically know and that you selected a clear goal. Are you going so that you can contact and you want to quantify it as well? Are you wanting to gain 3 new contacts of potential clients? Are you wanting to connect with 3 new partners or 3 new referral partners? Are you looking to connect with 4 new people of influence so that you can increase your circle of influence? What in the world are you going to this networking event for? So you want to make sure that you have selected a clear goal. So that is the purpose of that clear goal. And then you're going to strive to be of more service. When you strive to be of more service, then you are leading with an open hand, like we talked about before. So this isn't necessarily go to this event so that you can have people buy from you, but what can you give to them first? How can you earn their trust first? What do you need to give in order to get later on the back end? I had the misfortune of learning this the hard way. And I don't think it's misfortune, it's a blessing now. But before, I was like, Lord, I don't know why I'm spending this time. I made a pact when I first started my magazine, Boss News Magazine, that I was going to attend 2 networking events a week. I had not selected a clear goal, so I was just saying I was going to go. So I felt like if I was there and I was busy, I was doing something. And I was like, okay, I'm going to go and I'm going to meet people and they're going to buy advertisement from me. I did not have anything to be of service. I did not, strive to give at all. All I wanted to get, I wanted them to buy advertisement from me. I want them to love the concept of connecting with female overachievers. Now switch to Christian overachievers because, God has a way of doing things. But I just wanted them to buy from me. I was like, okay, you can get advertisement from me. Do it, and got nothing but a headache, a bag full of business cards. And I was extremely frustrated. But if you strive to be more service, I found that people then want to connect. And I say, okay, hey, you know what? I'm building a directory. I'll send you a link to join my directory. It's free. I'm giving. They're getting, they're getting promotion and marketing. And then eventually down the line, once they see that people are actually going to my directory, then they'll want to purchase from me. But I had to start giving first before I could expect to get anything. And the third square is to survey. Survey your feelings. And a lot of people are like, what? You want me to think about my feelings? I don't care about my feelings. We're trying to make a sale. But at the end of the day, if you attend a networking event and you don't feel well, you just had a bad day, had a rough day, or things are just not going your way, you're not going to be your best self. You're not going to put yourself forward. You're not going to remember what your goal selected. You're not going to care of striving to be of service. So why should you go in the first place? So it's important to know who you are and how you're feeling before you even step foot into a network event. If you need to step back and arrive maybe 10-15 minutes late so you can get it together, that's important too, because you need to go in there with a positive headspace. You need to be like, okay, I'm going to go in there, I'm going to be of service, I'm going to achieve this goal, these people are going to love me, I'm going to connect with as many people as I can, this on and so forth, so that you know how to be. And you know how you're feeling, you know what to expect, you know that it's definitely going to put yourself in a positive mindset, that sort of thing, so that you can actually achieve the goal that you selected in the first square. On the fourth square is to set yourself up to win. This is part of being professional looking. Image is everything when you're offline and online now. Being able to present yourself, making sure your hair is combed, you're well groomed, your outfit is in good taste, depending on whatever event you're going to. It could be a social networking, so you can be a little, more risque or whatever. But if it's professional in the daytime, making sure that you're dressed appropriately and making sure that you are received the way that you want to be received. So setting yourself up to win is really all about image. And after you've figured out what's going on the inside, you've surveyed your feelings, now you have to set yourself up to win on the outside, because people are going to judge you as soon as they see you. So making sure that those things are all together in line and organized and that sort of thing is extremely important. Alrighty. So we are actually making very good time. and we're going to move on to the fourth section. And so this is where it kind of all comes together. The first point in these additional discussion points is I want you to resist the urge to buy in bulk. It is one of the best decisions you could ever make. And the reason why is because, number one, if you are purchasing, say you're purchasing 100 business cards at a time, you know that each one of those business cards, you're able to quantify your conversion, which we'll talk about later. But also you can, on a monthly basis, really challenge yourself to say, okay, I need to meet 100 people within the next 30 days. And I need to not only meet just randomly 100 people, but I need to meet 100 people that are within my target market, that are willing to do what it is I want them to do via my act now prompt. And I need to make sure that I'm able to quantify my results so I know the people that I'm giving these cards to. It is all about quality of conversion, not quantity of conversion. And so then also it can be that you are challenging yourself. It's time sensitive. You know, you only have 100 if you're putting on an event, for example. You're putting on an event, you want to personally invite 100 people. Having that event code on your card, you don't want to get 1,000 of those, because if you get 1,000 of those, you might have them 3 and 4 months after your event, and they're now a waste. They're taking up space, they're useless, or you're scratching it out and adding other information, and that's not professional at all. So making sure that you're resisting the urge to buy in bulk, putting a time limit, make time sensitive, putting pertinent right now information on your business card, challenging yourself to meet a certain amount of people with those available business cards. And then moving forward, it is going to be one of those things that while you're promoting yourself offline, you are actively challenging yourself every single day. And you need to do that in order to make sure that you're growing your business. So let's just resist that urge to buy in bulk. A lot of companies are, they don't print less than 250 or whatever it is. You might have to, change your printer, because there are some printers that you're able to print 100, 150. They're going to charge you more. So then that's also another prompt to get your butt out there and network, because if you're getting charged more per card by ordering less, then you want to make sure that you are really hitting the ground running and that you are beating the pavement, as some people call it, but with purpose, with passion, and productivity. So that's one of the things. While resisting the urge to buy in bulk can really be the best decision you ever made. Another thing is size does matter. It matters because if I have a handful of business cards and all of them are the same business card size, and I'm trying to figure out which one was important, that sort of thing. If I'm kind of having skim through them, if it's not something or a conversation I actually remember, 9 out of 10 I'm throwing out the whole bunch. So say you opted to have an eighth of a page or a fourth of a page or a postcard size. Not only can you add more information on there, not only will that empty space that you have make more sense. Say it's a postcard, which is a fabulous idea. You have a postcard, so of course your business information is on the front. You have plenty of space to write in the empty space in your E and making sure you're on the same page. And then also, if I'm holding a bunch of business cards on my hand and I have this postcard and a bunch of business cards, then I'm more apt to look at my postcard than the other business cards. And then you have your picture on there, you have all your print information, your call to action. Why wouldn't your new contact want to keep your card? It just makes sense that way. So making sure that size does matter, and opting for the larger size, it's going to, again, be a little more costly than, of course, getting 10,000 business cards for $50. But not only are you now prompted because you spent more, now your conversions are going to make a lot more sense. And then the last point I wanted to make is why quantifying your conversion is so important. Quantifying your conversion is really one of the most important things you can possibly do, because it allows you to keep track, making sure that you're doing what you need to do in order to build your business. And then once you quantify that, say it's weekly, monthly, whatever it is, per the event, whatever, you're able to go back and say, okay, I my goal was 50 new contacts with a conversion rate of 25, so 50% conversion rate, but I only have five. Only five people did what I wanted them to do. Only five people executed my call to action. So now you have numbers and stats to go by. So you have an opportunity to now fix what it is was broken for the most part. Say, okay, go back and reevaluate your approach. Maybe the event was incorrect. Maybe the call to action was a little too difficult. Really figuring out and starting to change one thing at a time, quantifying it, reevaluate, quantifying it, reevaluate. This is a process that a lot of business owners hate to do. We basically are like, if something doesn't work, we try to get rid of the entire thing and say, okay, let's start over from scratch. When in reality, changing one thing, quantifying it again, changing another, quantifying again, really figuring out what your secret sauce is important. But to just throw out the whole batch is really, it's pointless, and it takes a lot to rebuild that. And I'm guilty as charged. Trust me, everything that I'm telling you is something that I have done, and it's something that I have either had to deal with and fix fix what was wrong. So it's something I've experienced for sure. So being able to quantify your conversion and then going back after you've evaluated it, figuring out exactly what went wrong is important. So let's recap very quickly, and I'm just going to give you a couple seconds to, I guess, maybe write those last minute notes so that you're able to kind of focus on our recap. So I'm going to give you a moment or two to do that. Okay, so we're going to recap. So within our first section, we had you to really clearly identify your definition of conversion, who you're giving your business card to, what you want them to do, why, what's in it for them, why should they care in the first place, and how do you want to remember. And so then once you've kind of answered those questions, then we kind of moved on to making sure you and your new contact are on the same page. PAGE is an acronym for making sure you have a photo, an act now prompt, some type of giveaway, and empty space. So figuring out what those things are, why you should have a professional photo, I should say, professional photo, some type of act now prompt or also call to action, some kind of giveaway, and make sure all of this is cohesive. So if your idea is to get people to register for your event, your call to action would not be to sign up for your mailing list. It would be to register for your event via a scanned QR code or whatever it is. So making sure that that's important, that they go hand in hand. Then also we talked about the four squared approach, selecting a clear goal, striving to be more of service, surveying your feelings, and setting yourself up to win. This is before you even enter into the event or the opportunity, whatever the live networking thing is that you're going to. Those are important. And then finally, our fourth point, where these are just some kind of additional discussion points, and that is to resist the urge of buying in bulk, making sure that you are making your business card time sensitive, knowing that size does matter. Ideally, I would say no larger than a postcard, no smaller than a 1/8 page, which is a slightly larger, different shape than a business card. You're able to fit a lot of information on that 1/8 page. You can make it time sensitive. If you are a magazine publisher like myself, making sure you can have the current issues cover on one side and your information on the back side, whatever it is that you think is ideal. And then also being able to quantify your conversions and using that information to then, I guess, to evaluate your actions and to fix what was wrong, or to experiment. I would say, wouldn't necessarily fix what was wrong, but experiment different ways of doing business and doing things. So where do we go from here? Well, I will be sending you a link to download an application checklist, which is basically everything that we talked about in consecutive order of how you can really apply this information. It's extremely important to me, like I expressed in the beginning, extremely important to me that you take the time to apply what you've learned. You've now spent almost an hour of your time, 48 minutes to be exact, and I want you to be able to, as soon as you log off, be able to apply what you have learned. So it's very, very important. And for those who want to take it a step further, of course, like I explained at the beginning, this is part of our Build Your Business, Build the Kingdom training program. And so what that training program is actually an 8-week program. We meet live every Thursday, and we go through a series of curriculum and important hot topics in regards to building your business. But the idea is, the way that I've integrated it, is that we're able to do 20 minutes of instruction and then 40 minutes of application. So it's not one of those where as soon as you leave the program, you now go to figure it out. You actually are going through the program, but then you do apply it right there, and then you come back, and then you apply it, and then you come back, and then you apply it. So it's very, very, very important that you are applying those different things. And so then also, what the curriculum is cohesive of is that it is a 8-week program that we talk about your urgent needs. So each one is going to be different, of course. Each session, I guess, is important. Business basics, of course, we talk about that for week 1. Week 2 and 3, we actually talk about why your business is your ministry. What does that look like? What does that specifically look like? As you are connecting with the church as an individual, if you are one of those people like me who are trying to mobilize a group of business owners in order to connect, whatever it is, and we talk about that as well. And then within the next weeks, we're going to be building your business online, building a present for weeks 4 and 5. We talk about that. And then for weeks 6 and 7, talk about building your business offline. This presentation that you've experienced today is part of that training program, how to build your business offline. So you kind of got a sneak peek of what to expect for week 6 is actually when we talk about it. And then also we conclude our training program with creating multiple cohesive revenue streams. Meaning, if you are a hairstylist, I'm not going to have you selling clothes, but really being able to figure out what your business is and creating cohesive revenue streams to match that business plan. Also, you get a checklist for each module. You get a topic template. So if I tell you to send an email, I send you a template of what that email looks like. Weekly 15-minute status calls, social media campaigns. You, of course, get listed in my online directory. Complimentary access to additional trainings. We'll be posting trainings up constantly, basically once a month, if not more, that you'll also have access to. And then goal sheets that you're going to be able, some cool printables. Also your company listing and our Facebook and our Google Plus page. So I have the great pleasure of cross-promoting all of my students and my partners on our partners page. And then also we're working on a weekly devotion. And that weekly devotion is what I call Business in the Bible. So it is applying biblical principles to your business and growing your business as God has intended, reaching out, reaching out. Access to weekly prayer calls. So we are going to be diving into the Word of God on a weekly basis as a community. And so it's important that you're able to, I want you to be able to connect in that regards. So you get all that good stuff in this 8-week program. Of course, a lot of it you have lifetime access to. Actually, all of it you have that lifetime access to. As soon as you purchase, and you have, the ability to be a part of our community, our Boss for Christ community. And of course, some people are wondering, like, what in the world is Boss? Boss for me is business oriented, savvy, and successful. What better way to serve God is to be business oriented, savvy, and successful for Christ? That is a huge, huge, huge thing. So these are, some of the things that I just went over, what it is that the training schedule actually looks like, what the curriculum you can kind of expect, and then also what your additional resources are. Kind of went over that as well. So now I wonder, like, oh God, how much is this going to cost me? Well, it's the entire 8-week program is $500. Or if you want and you need to, which I know there's like, I don't have $500 to spend on growing my business. I'm trying to grow my business so I can have $500. Totally understand that. And we can initiate the learning process for 4 payments of $150. And so that we're able to really begin this process. And as the cool thing is going to be, as you grow your business and apply these things, you're going to then be able to use this, out of the increase that you're going to get, then pay off the rest. So we have that option as well. So now I want to open it up if there are any questions. If you want to, how do you apply what you've learned? Now what? Anything at all that you need and want to share, I'm totally open to that right now. Just go ahead and type it into the box. Alrighty. So we are going to conclude. I want to thank you so much for your time. I want to say how much I appreciate you coming on to this presentation, viewing it, and I want to encourage you to continue to strive forward to build your business so that you can build the kingdom of God. And I'm just so thankful for your time, so thankful for your talent, so thankful for whatever it is you do. If you should need me, please make sure that you connect with me so that we are able to then connect with you even more in the next coming days. And it's been an honor and a privilege to have you on this presentation. And if there's anything, definitely make sure that you contact me. And that is all that we have for this day, or today. Thank you again. And also I will make sure that I send each and every one an email for those of you who have been on the call or been in this presentation, and I will make sure that you are able to connect with us and connect with me in a different way. Again, thank you so much for everything. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your attention. And I look forward to being of service to you. Thank you, and have a wonderful and amazing rest of your day.